Cutting across straight to Mathura, we're looking at campaigning on in full swing by the BJP. Let's take a quick look at Amit Shah, who's currently in Mathura. A big fight over the Jat vote in western UP. Of course, they comprise of close to 17% of the vote base in western Uttar Pradesh, a total of 6 to 7% of the voter base in totality in Uttar Pradesh. So far, overwhelmingly, the Jat communities had voted for the BJP. Now, Amit Shah had tried to reach out to the Jat leaders, and it appears the Jat community now coming together, an all-out pitch that the BJP is making to the Jat community. Home Minister now campaigning in Vrindavan. There you have it, live visuals coming in. Home Minister Amit Shah campaigns in Vrindavan. He's there, of course, to reach out to the Jat community. Aishwarya Paliwal joining us live for more on that. Aishwarya, Amit Shah's outreach to the Jat community. We saw one of the strong Jat leaders not very welcoming of a talk of an alliance with the BJP, but it appears that Amit Shah, not losing hope, ventures into Vrindavan, reaching out to the Jat community. Live visuals coming in from Uttar Pradesh.
Well, Nabila, let me tell you, this is an outreach which is being helmed by Home Minister Amit Shah. Visuals that you see on your screen are of Amit Shah reaching the temple. Once he goes inside the temple, then he will come out and he will start meeting the locals there. All the shopkeepers, those who give the prasad and all those people will be, Amit Shah will be meeting them. And then after that, he'll be coming to this place. This is where leaders of almost all the communities have been called on. The stage is all set. In about an hour, we will see Amit Shah coming on to this stage. This is where another outreach program will be held by Amit Shah. The community is very strong, especially if we talk about Western Uttar Pradesh. If we talk about data in 2017, the party got 77% of Jat votes. In 2019, it increased to 90%. So the Bharatiya Janata Party understands the importance of the community, because of which we are seeing this outreach program. And just yesterday, we saw Amit Shah speaking with influential Jat leaders and telling them the historical ties that the party has had with them. Amit Shah now making sure that he goes door to door, speaks with the people, and this is an outreach program, because if we talk about the votes, this is a community which influences more than 136 seats, a very important part, which is why we are seeing Amit Shah and the Bharatiya Janata Party now taking a step forward and trying to bring the Jat community back into its fold. Nabila.
Right. Well, Aishwarya, we know that Amit Shah is, of course, right there. He's reaching out to the Jat community leaders, but they seem to have had quite some grouse with the Modi government over the farm laws and the protests that took place. In fact, just yesterday, a Jat leader there pulled out support, saying, first let the BJP reach out to the 700-odd families of the farming communities, and then let them talk to us. This kind of animosity between the Jat leaders now, between them and the BJP, what do you think will lead to the BJP's prospects in that case?
Well, we are seeing that, the first thing is that the party understands how important the community is, because of which we are seeing Amit Shah now making this outreach. In fact, yesterday in the national capital, he held a long hour meeting with all the leaders. They were all inside. The Amit Shah was trying to tell them all the things which has been done in the past. In fact, whatever promises the community wants the party to make, there are very high chances that the party will agree to all of them. And what you see around me is also, Nabila, is just a glimpse of what the Bharatiya Janata Party is now trying to do. Leaders are all from all the places, especially if we talk about the Jat community, have been called on here. Amit Shah will speak with them one-to-one. This also will be almost an hour and a half long interaction. If we talk about Western Uttar Pradesh, more than 136 seats. The community is influential on more than 136 seats. So they are a very influential chunk, because of which we are now seeing Amit Shah not just coming here, he will also be going to Noida. He'll be meeting people. He'll be doing the door-to-door campaign. He himself is now trying to make sure that the community comes back into the BJP fold. The very, very crucial Uttar Pradesh elections are just round the corner, and now we are seeing visuals of Amit Shah reaching the temple. And once he's out from the temple, he will then start meeting all the people door to door. He'll be speaking with the priest. He'll be telling them what the Bharatiya Janata Party has been doing for the community. Nabila.
Right, Aishwarya, take us through the plan for Amit Shah for today. We see him visiting a temple. He's also going to be meeting with Jat Netas, going door to door as well in Vrindavan. Give us the significance itself of the Jat community in Uttar Pradesh. We know that they've overwhelmingly voted for the BJP, at least in the last few elections in 2017 and 2019 as well. The Lok Sabha polls too, the Jat community overwhelmingly voted for the BJP. That the kind of vote bank, you did say that they value a lot, but it appears that this time there seems to be some kind of resistance. So for the BJP, what kind of value the Jat community holds? Break it down for us.
Well, 136 streets, that's the strait that Jat community, especially if we talk about Western Uttar Pradesh, is focusing on. We are also seeing that it's not just Amit Shah. In fact, other leaders of BJP are also making sure that, they make an outreach. They are also trying to placate all the Jat leaders. The Jat leaders were angry because of the farmers' protest. All the farmers who died, now the leaders want some kind of compensation should be given to them. Stray cattle is also one of the big issues that the Jat community is very angry with the BJP, and they want the party to figure out some kind of, they want the party to come out and talk about what has happened in the past. But now we are seeing Amit Shah, and he's also sending out a message. See Amit Shah walking onto the streets of Vrindavan, making sure he goes and meets the people, speaks with them one-to-one, the door-to-door campaigning which we have been seeing. All those things are being done because the party is also trying to send out a message that we are standing firmly behind the Jat community, and whatever the community wants, as far as possible, the party is saying we will do it, because of which we are seeing this very personal outreach which is being made by none other than Amit Shah himself. And once he meets with the people, then he'll be coming to Mathura. All the arrangements have been made as far as this interaction. We talk about people who have been brought here. It's not just people from one community. A lot of Jat leaders also present here, and all of them are now making sure that they convey to the community what the BJP has been promising them. This will be a closed-door interaction which will take place. It will also last for almost 1 hour, 1.5 hours. That's what, Nabila, we understand at the moment. Once that is done, then Amit Shah will move on to Dadri. There again, he will do a door-to-door campaigning, which means the Bharatiya Janata Party is telling the people that there is a personal touch, and Amit Shah himself has been in Western Uttar Pradesh over the past few days, making people personally, meeting all the leaders and telling them the kind of historical ties that the party has had with the Jat community. Nabila.
If you can give us an insight into who are those Jat leaders who are there present at the spot now to be meeting with Amit Shah, Aishwarya, please elaborate on that. Any specific Jat leader who's of significance? Those people who've come to meet Amit Shah now, you say that there's an hour and a half of a meeting. Are they all significant Jat leaders who are now meeting with Amit Shah today?
But some of the Jat leaders, from what we are understanding, are also present with Amit Shah, and he will go inside the temple. Then once he comes out, then the program will be for him to walk on the streets of Vrindavan, speak with the shopkeepers, speak with the locals there. And then by road, he will travel from Vrindavan to Mathura, which will take another 10 to 15 minutes. And then he'll be coming on to this dais. The program will start. Then he'll be accompanied by Jat leaders. The leaders will then come here when Amit Shah reaches, and then the talks will begin. This too will be a closed door meeting, just like the one which he had there. he will speak about all the things that the Bharatiya Janata Party has done for the community. In fact, Amit Shah yesterday spoke about the historical ties. He said that the community and BJP have been together for more than 600 years. So there we see, all the things the party is now trying to make sure that the community comes back into the fold. They are also talking about the 600-year-old history. And they are saying that the community has, in fact, Amit Shah also went ahead yesterday and said that he has come to power, the party has come to power because of the Jat community, not just in 2017, Nabila, but in 2014 also the community en masse voted for the Bharatiya Janata Party. So historically also the party understands the importance. It was 2014 elections, it was 2017 elections, and it was in 2019 elections. All these elections, the data is with the party, so they understand what an influential block of votes the Jat people have, because of which we are seeing this very personal touch. People have started trickling in here, and from what we are understanding, in about an hour, we understand that Amit Shah will be here. He will speak with the leaders. He will tell them what the Yogi Adityanath government has done over the past 5 years and the kind of promises that will be fulfilled in the next 5 years if BJP comes to power. All those things will be discussed very prominently. Let me tell you, one thing which is very interesting, Nabila, is, you see the face of Amit Shah on the poster, a large face of Amit Shah. So definitely, these are some of the tactics which the Bharatiya Janata Party is now applying to make sure that they bring the community into the fold, and the Home Minister himself reaching Uttar Pradesh, being invested, coming here and personally walking onto the streets. All this shows that the party understands the importance of the community. 136 seats, straight away 136 seats out of the 403. If you talk about UP, 136 seats is what the Jat community is at the moment having an influence over, a very influential chunk, because of which we are now seeing the Jat leaders obviously telling the Bharatiya Janata Party what they want. One of the foremost things that they want is for the Bharatiya Janata Party to give compensation to the 700 families of farmers who were present in the farmers' protest. Many of them no more now, so the Jat community wants that some kind of compensation should be given. And in fact, the turn of events happened when the farmers were protesting on various borders. That's when the Jat community started moving away from the party. And now Amit Shah also talking up to the leaders and telling them that because of the community, all the farm laws have been taken back. So all those things will also be discussed here in this closed door meeting, which will take place in about an hour. But yes, the outreach program which we are seeing from the Bharatiya Janata Party, huge posters of Amit Shah here in Mathura, all of them signaling that the party is ready to go all out to make sure that the community comes back into its fold. Nabila.
Right, Aishwarya, as much as we see there's so much effort that's being put by the BJP, we see Amit Shah venturing into the Jat stronghold, Vrindavan, where he's meeting several significant Jat leaders. We believe an hour and a half is when the meeting will last. All of this comes amid COVID protocols, strict protocols that need to be in place. Only 10 people allowed, but we see a clear violation here, if anything.
Well, yes, if we talk about what the Election Commission has said, they have said that once the leaders move out and they meet people, then only 10 people will be allowed. However, let me tell you about what the Election Commission has said. When you hold meetings in a closed environment, 500 people is what is allowed. So as far as the COVID protocols are, if we talk about them, then definitely we are seeing the hall is full. However, it's not 500 people yet. So all the COVID protocols at the moment being followed. You see the people wearing masks. So as far as this hall is, if you talk about the hall, we are seeing people wearing masks, and there is a cap. That's what we spoke with the people here, and they said that not more than 300 people will be allowed, and that is well within what the Election Commission had said. However, we do understand that once the leaders go on ground, I can hear the chants which are taking place there. Definitely people come out in large numbers when the leaders step out. That is something which the Bharatiya Janata Party will have to look out.
Who is to crack down on it? And speaking of masks there, Aishwarya, I don't see Amit Shah wearing a mask. He's clearly not wearing a mask. There are many people with him not wearing a mask. Most of those people around him, apart from the security guards, only they are wearing masks. The leaders and his supporters, none of them with masks.
yeah, those are things which the BJP will have to make sure, that they do. But as far as the personal outreach is, if we talk about the personal outreach,
Aishwarya, if you can hear us. All right, I'm going to try and pass Aishwarya there. Here's Amit Shah, who's just ventured into Vrindavan. We know that this is a big outreach that the BJP is attempting at right ahead of polls in Uttar Pradesh. They want to reach out to the Jat community, overwhelmingly who supported the BJP in the last couple of years, the 2017 polls and even the 2019 Lok Sabha elections too. The Jat community overwhelmingly voted for the BJP. That's the kind of support that they're hoping to receive this time as well. Now, Amit Shah, Home Minister himself, getting down, carrying out a door-to-door campaign amid this high-stake Uttar Pradesh polls. This is indeed a mega BJP Jat outreach. In fact, Home Minister Amit Shah had also earlier met at least 100 Jat leaders from Western Uttar Pradesh. He met them at the BJP MP Parvesh Verma's residence in Delhi. And from what we understand, that the Jat leaders have a certain grouse with the BJP, and that is over the farm laws that took a while for the BJP government to quash. In the meanwhile, at least 700 families, according to the Jat leader, have incurred severe losses. Several farmers lost their lives. The kind of compensation, what kind of compensation will be given to them? That's the demand and the question that the Jat leaders are asking the BJP at this moment. Now, we understand that there are a few leaders, in fact, RLD leader Jayant Chaudhary, who has resisted an alliance with the BJP, saying clearly that first the BJP reach out to the 700-odd families of the farmers and then come to us. That's the response that's been given. But nonetheless, we know that the Jat community so far, so long, at least over the decade, has been with the BJP, on the side of the BJP. At least 77 to 80% of the community has voted for the BJP in the last decade. And that's the kind of support that the BJP this time too hopes to receive. This is Amit Shah right now at a temple in Vrindavan. He's meeting with the Jat community leaders. He's there as part of the big BJP Jat outreach in Uttar Pradesh. There you have it, visuals, live visuals coming in of Amit Shah at a temple in Vrindavan, Uttar Pradesh, as part of the Jat outreach. In fact, Amit Shah has met with several Jat leaders. Just yesterday, he's met with close to 100 Jat leaders to understand the pulse of what they are looking at this time, what kind of sentiment and sway that the Jat community holds this time post the farmers' protests. That's really come as a significant deal maker or deal breaker. Only time will tell, of course, but the Jat community really having not being very satisfied with what happened over the last year with regards to the farm laws, have also put their reservations forward to the BJP itself. We understand that many Jat leaders, including RLD's Jayant Chaudhary, have said that they've refused an alliance with the BJP, also saying that first the BJP needs to reach out to the 700-odd families of those farmers who were part of the protest. Many of them incurred severe losses. Many of them also who lost their lives. That's the kind of, in fact, request that the Jat leaders put forth, saying that first farmer families need to be reached out to, and then you come to us. That was a message that was sent out to Amit Shah while he met with at least 100 Jat leaders, particularly this message that came in from Jayant Chaudhary, who is the RLD chief. Now, we know that Amit Shah has wanted RLD Jayant Chaudhary to team up with them. According to sources, Amit Shah has said that the RLD has the RLD has chosen a wrong alliance. He says he calls Jayant Chaudhary a right person on the wrong side. In fact, Amit Shah has said that the Jat community should first resolve their differences with the BJP and really urge them against choosing Akhilesh Yadav, who he calls an outsider.
Today.
Let me quickly cut across to Aishwarya Paliwal joining us live for more on that. Aishwarya, take it away. We see Amit Shah there on ground in Vrindavan. He's, of course, reaching out to the Jat community. There's an attempt to really consolidate the vote base yet again ahead of polls in Uttar Pradesh. We know that 138 seats, that's the future that holds for the BJP. If at all they're able to get the Jat community on board, at least 138 seats is what they strike at.
Well, we all know, Nabila, how important the Uttar Pradesh elections are for the Bharatiya Janata Party, and this is a very personal outreach which Home Minister Amit Shah is trying to do. In fact, just take a look about what the Bharatiya Janata Party is trying to do. This is a closed-door room. We are seeing people trickling in. We are seeing people from the Jat community also present. Now, if we talk about data in 2014, if we talk about the Lok Sabha elections, there were 29 seats. Out of those 29 seats, 26 seats the Bharatiya Janata Party won because of the Jat support. Now we move on to 2017. Here also we saw that 80% of the Jats were standing firmly behind the Bharatiya Janata Party, and this in fact increased to almost 90% in 2019 elections. So if we talk about data, the party understands how important and influential the community is, because of which we are now seeing this very personal touch. Now in the national capital also, Amit Shah yesterday met with very prominent Jat leaders, and he told them about the historical ties. In fact, Amit Shah went ahead and said that this is the community which has made sure that the party comes back in power and remains in power. So those kind of things also, a very emotional appeal has also been made out. And if we talk about the people now, what we are seeing Amit Shah do, he's walking onto the streets of Vrindavan, speaking with people. There will be a door-to-door campaign also. And after Vrindavan, he'll come to Mathura, where there'll again be a 1.5-hour meeting right here where we are. The stage is being set. I don't know if you can see, I'll ask Parminder to show you. You'll see a large photo of Amit Shah there, So it looks like it is Amit Shah who has made sure that he reaches the western Uttar Pradesh, and he reaches out to the people, and all those things for the party, very important. Now, if we again come on to data, in 2019, out of those 29 seats, 21 were again won by the Bharatiya Janata Party. So if we talk about data also, we have been seeing how, it's very important for the Bharatiya Janata Party to make sure that the community comes back into the fold. A very tough fight this time for the party, and they are leaving no stone unturned to make sure that the community comes back into the fold. Visuals on your screen, Nabila, of the Home Minister Amit Shah onto the streets of Vrindavan. He will then go inside the Banke Bihari Temple, and when he comes out, he will again start walking onto the streets. He'll meet the people, and then from Vrindavan, he'll come to Mathura, where again 1.5-hour long meeting with all the people of not just one. He will be meeting people who are here, and then he'll try to tell them what the government of Uttar Pradesh has done in the past 5 years and what the government will do in the next 5 years. All those things will be explained by none other than the Home Minister himself.
Right, of course, Aishwarya, the BJP certainly has a lot to boast of. They've governed the last 5 years. They have a lot to put on the table for the Jat community members, even though we understand that the Jat community right now has a grouse. They're worried and upset over the farm laws and the future of the farmer families, many of them who've incurred losses. They want the BJP to reach out to those farmer families first. That's what we hear from some of the Jat leaders who've resisted an alliance with the BJP. But nonetheless, there seems like a massive BJP outreach to the Jat community in Uttar Pradesh ahead of this high-pitched polls in the state. We're going to cut across to a short break. We'll be right back with more updates. We'll track the story on the other side.